Welcome back in, and man, we got a lot of action going on. We got college basketball happening, college football tonight still. That is true. NFL trade deadline. We got the election. I mean, we got a lot going on. I won't lie to you. We ain't gonna talk about the election. I just want to throw it up there because that is also happening today. But yeah, pretty excited to get into this. I got a lot of notes, a lot of stuff I saw over the weekend, a lot of stuff to flip through. So yeah, I think without any further ado, I think we should just hop right in. We're gonna start with the trade deadline. So people getting traded, so I at least want to bring up some names. Just talk about some. Yeah, just talk about. Sorry, I thought there was another one that happened. Not yet. Just talking about some stuff that's happened so far. So, going back to October 24th, that will be the day that we'll start with. Okay, but like I said, so we're starting off. Ernest Jones went to the Seahawks, and the Titans got Jerome Baker and a 2025 fourth round pick. DeAndre Hopkins obviously with the Chiefs. The Titans get a 2025 fifth round pick conditional, which I believe will be turning into a 20. Yeah, it's going to end up being a 2025 with how much he's playing. I believe, if I read the stuff right. Josh Uche, another guy going to the Chiefs. They gave up a 20. Oh, this is what I was thinking of. Never mind. So yeah, the DeAndre Hopkins one is right for sure. Josh Uche, they gave away for a 2026 sixth round pick. So if they really like what they get out of Uche, I mean, it's for a sixth round pick. That's basically a steal. Ravens got Deontay Johnson and a sixth round pick for trading away a 2025 fifth rounder. So the Panthers basically got move up one spot there. That was a lot to say apparently. Cam Robinson, he gets traded to Vikings. They also get a seventh round pick conditional in 2026 for a 2026 fifth rounder from the Jaguars. Baron Browning. That's all going back to October. This is I guess that did happen yesterday. Baron Browning got traded from the got traded from the Broncos to the Cardinals for a 2025 sixth rounder. It's Darius Smith. Not shocker. We kind of expected this to happen. He gets traded to the Lions along with a seventh round pick in 2026 for a 2025 fifth rounder and a 2026 sixth rounder. Then we also, Khalil Herbert. I was kind of shocked this trade happened. Traded to the Bengals. Bears get a 2025 seventh rounder. Not horrible for the Bengals, I guess, but who happened to have Zach Moss. That's who it is. Zach Moss. He's going to be out for most of the regular season, it seems like, with a injury to his neck, which I feel like that just kind of like got kind of brushed under the rug. I don't know if I just missed it or whatnot, but I don't remember hearing Zach Moss out for the year. So it's pretty good running back depth for them. Yeah, I don't know where Khalil Herbert's going to play in. I just don't know how he's going to fit in their offense. That's going to be an interesting watch. Cowboys, they trade a 2025 fourth rounder away. They get Jonathan Mingo and a 2025 seventh rounder, which is just to boost their wide receiver core for multiple years. Because I think he still is on his rookie contract. So I believe he still has like 2-ish years left. So not going to be shocked if he's a Cowboy for a few seasons. They might even resign him if they like him that much. Apparently, this was a guy that Jerry Jones was kind of in on. And the Commanders get Marshawn Lattimore. This was a big one today. Marshawn Lattimore and a fifth round pick in 2025 for 2025 third rounder, 2025 fourth rounder, and a 2025 sixth rounder. Quite a haul to get Marshawn Lattimore, but I mean, with how good the Commanders are, why not start trying to make a run right now? Saints, they need to get under the cap. Have a lot of moving pieces because Dennis Allen is fired. That's something else we got to get into. That man, like I said, there's so many notes, so much to go over. So we're gonna kind of break this down from. We're gonna put in like kind of tiers. So we're gonna talk about probably the good teams first, some of the good games we saw this weekend first, and then we're gonna break it down slowly. By the time we get to the end, I mean, I'll probably spend like 2 minutes, like for example, Saints-Panthers. I'm probably going to spend like 2 minutes on that game. There are some insights I do have, but yeah, like I said, not too much to go into in that game. Two two-win teams. That's a lot of twos. Where do we want to start? That's kind of what I'm just I'm looking at my sheets. Got a lot to talk about. I got some opening drive stuff for a lot of these teams. We'll start with the Monday night game. Just simply for the fact, I won't lie. No notes for the Monday night. You gotta love that. Won't lie to you. My storage got full in the middle of recording. Gotta love it. So, not gonna lie, lost a good chunk. So we're gonna try to catch back up to where we were. I basically was just starting with the Chiefs-Bucks game. I think literally as it crashed. So hopefully I didn't lose too much. But yeah, we'll go Chiefs-Bucks. Really fun game, honestly. Super exciting, super fun. Started off Chiefs really No, sorry. Yeah, start off. Chiefs get a field goal to start off. They originally were going to score right away. Looked like on their first drive, where it looked like they were getting a really good position. Then one bad trick play to Xavier Worthy, which he took a 10-yard loss, ended up making them punt. After that punt, Bucks I don't think do too much with it. Then they give it back. Chiefs get a field goal out of it. Then rushing touchdown by Rachaad White. DeAndre Hopkins. Oh my God. DeAndre Hopkins able to answer. This was really good back and forth. Ends up at one point it's 10-7 Bucks, and then I believe it's 17-7 Bucks are in the lead. Or sorry, 10-7 Chiefs were in the lead. Then it's 17-7 Bucks are in the lead. You're kind of looking at it like, okay, Bucks are kind of putting up a fight. Fourth quarter, they're able to score again. But fourth quarter is kind of Chiefs. Mahomes makes an awesome play where he flips it to P. Ryan. Looks like he really hurt himself. Honestly, it looked like he popped his Achilles or something like that, where it's like, oh my God, he's going to be really, really hurt. And then I think he just tweaked his ankle, we heard it again. DeAndre Hopkins would then catch a second touchdown pass. So then they're at 24-17. They're up. Then shout out Baker Mayfield, man. Leads a drive down the field. Ryan Miller gets his first NFL touchdown of the year. K. Dotton, shout out to him, had a massive day. We'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, then it goes into overtime. Chiefs win the coin toss. You just see after they win the coin toss, you see Baker just go put his head back, and you know what happened. Chiefs drive right down the field. Ends up with a Kareem Hunt touchdown. Oh! Massive news in the NFL trade deadline. Like I said, you're going to get some of these periodically too. Preston Smith has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That feels like a big one. He's the Pack. I'm pretty sure he's with the Packers, right? Why'd they get rid of him? That's a shocking one. I'll admit. Good for the... Wow. Packers are trading it to the Steelers. I don't get that. I don't know. I don't know if he just wasn't working out for the Packers or what, but that seems like a weird one. I don't get why they traded him away. I don't know. That's weird. Shout out to the Steelers, though, getting a... Dude, that pass rush is going to be ridiculous. But yeah, Chiefs end up winning in overtime. Shout out to Kareem Hunt. Helps your boy have a massive day betting with that late touchdown. That was awesome. Big day. Big day for the Chiefs. Find a way to go to 8-0 now. Right? Yeah, they're 8-0. So stupid, man. I don't know how they keep winning these damn games. But like I said, shout out to K. Dotton. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. I mean, shout out to K. Dotton, man. K. Dotton had an awesome game yesterday for them basically having nobody. So looking at it, K. Dotton was able to finish with 8 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Not bad. DeAndre Hopkins on the other side, 8 for 86 and 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 27 for 106 and a touchdown. He has now scored in 4 straight games. That boy balling. I don't get too much to say. This was just an awesome game to watch. Good back and forth. If you're the Bucks, this sucks to lose because it was obviously right there for you. Only question I have is why they didn't go for 2 after they scored that touchdown with 31 seconds to go. Makes you wonder. I can't blame Todd Bowles for not wanting to go for it. It just sucks because, yeah, Chiefs won the coin toss. You probably ain't getting the ball back. And sure enough, they didn't get it back. But, yeah, it's just really weird how they took the lead, didn't go for 2 there. It's just like, okay. Especially with how aggressive everybody is. I guess it makes sense that it was Todd Bowles who did it. But, yeah, good shout out to the Chiefs. Big one for them. They improved to 8-0. 24-30 victory. And, man, they're going to do it again, aren't they? But I guess we'll actually just remove in reverse order. I had a whole tier system. I explained to you the whole tier system. I set it up. Yeah. I won't lie to you. I explained it and then was roughly running through it before the audio cut out and I lost a lot of stuff I just recorded. So I was trying it and I didn't like that too much. So we're gonna tweak it for next week. Which hey, I guess fun part for my storage being full is that I was able to trial run something. Didn't like it too much. So we're just gonna go in reverse order from that. So basically, we talked about the Monday night game. Now we're going to talk about the Sunday night game, which was Colts-Vikings. Vikings win. Colts look horrible on offense. One of their worst offensive performances of the season, which sucks because their defense actually looked pretty good in that game. And great win for the Vikings. They made Joe Flacco look pretty bad. I'll admit. They had him looking pretty bad. Had him looking like he did in the playoffs a little bit when it wasn't too good. Overall, though, just frustrating loss for the Colts, who they're in the win now mode, yet they do that. Worst offensive performance they've had all season. I hope that they go under center more. I hope there's more motion in the Colts offense, because I'll admit, bit stale with that. Not a lot of formations, not a lot of movement, which is interesting to say, especially with how NFL now there's a shit ton of movement. I mean, you forget it's Jalen Hurts' old OC. I mean, we see a lot of the very similar stuff with the Eagles, how they were struggling, and all of a sudden they've added motion, and now they've done all that. Jalen Hurts is taking a step up. I just hope the Colts implement more motion and all that. Just overall, it's frustrating, man. Just frustrating. That was a frustrating loss to deal with because basically now it's like they have to beat the Bills for a season to be anywhere intact. Houston Texans lost, which would have been awesome for the division. I mean, it's just very, very frustrating season for the Colts because like you aren't getting anything you want out of the defense some weeks. And then the defense was finally playing good. Now the offense is playing horrible. I mean, they just have not gotten either side of the ball together this season to play one solid game, and it's beyond frustrating. Hopefully, we get to see Anthony Richardson back soon. They might as well develop him because, yeah, I'm to the point now. I'll admit, I was a strong, hey, we'll make the playoffs. Colts actually have a chance. Maybe we'll do something. I'll admit, the boys are a bit heartbroken. They have a really tough schedule upcoming as well. At best, they're going to be a wild card team, which hate to see it because they really had a chance to beat the Texans, and now it's 2 straight losses. It's going to be a tough hill for them to climb, but like I said, I've talked way too much about the Colts. Vikings didn't look the best, I'll admit. And some points, but offensively, I mean, they did what they had to do to win. Justin Jefferson had like 5 plays of 20-plus yards, I think they said. I mean, he just did whatever he wanted to the Colts. It was, yeah, not a fun game to be a Colts fan, to say the least. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 137. If the running back doesn't go off in the Colts, you best believe a wide receiver's going to go for like 150. I mean, it's honestly kind of annoying. Aaron Jones just gets 21 carries for 64, so finally able to stuff the run because like DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart have an amazing game. Defense even scores a touchdown. That's the only touchdown the Colts scored. And then, yeah, like I said, they give up Justin Jefferson just going absolutely off on them. Sam Darnold, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Frustrating, but big win for the Vikings, who much needed win after a bounce-back loss to the Lions. So we're going to talk about this game, and then we're going to flip back to the 1 o'clock games because just the way my notes are set up is probably be the easiest. Rams-Seahawks, this was game of the afternoon. I mean, oh my God. Let me find it up. Where some of this stuff's at in my notes. I forgot I actually have to flip the other way. Oops. But yeah, Rams-Seahawks, I think I got some stuff on here for them. I can't remember what color. Okay, so they're blue. 4 o'clock slate. Oh, shit. There's some, sorry about that. There's some key stuff I wrote down from the game that I noticed across it. Rams get a deflection at 8:31 the first to get the ball at midfield, which would then... Oh, I see. Yeah, so body catch what led to a deflection that led to a Rams interception and got them the ball at the midfield. But for the longest time, it took... so that happened 8:31 in the first. I'll remind you that. They're at midfield. 8:31 at first, they're at midfield. It took the Rams drive at 4:46 and I believe 4:46 in the second half was the first plays inside the 20 for either team the whole game, and the Rams ended up with the field goal there. I mean, it was a sloppy game. Seahawks would then get a touchdown later. Puka gets ejected for throwing a punch. Tough. That's a tough one. And then ejected. Interception leads to Seahawks game points with JSN puts up the Hawks 13-3. And then what else? Rams got I forgot who scored for the Rams. That sucks. I even forgot to write down on my notes and just put forgot name. But Rams get a touchdown. They made it 13-10. This was around halftime-ish. There was a bad call for a PI, but this is where the game gets interesting now. So this is about second half. It's been a close battle. What do we got the score as? Score is at halftime. It's 13-3 Seattle. So the Rams this Rams touchdown is in the third quarter, gives them a little bit of run to make it 13-13. I mean, my goodness, boy, I'm a mess today. Just about knocked over my damn light. Like I said, we're going to make it Jesus, this is all messed up now. I boned this up. It's been one of them days, man, where there's a lot of stuff getting in the way of me trying to just talk about some goddamn football. Like I said, the part where this game gets fun, it's basically kind of boring. Nothing really happens. And then there's a really bad call on a PI on the Rams, which I didn't think was PI. I don't even think the announcers really thought it was PI either. It was on the 43, moves the ball to the 20. But the funny part about it is shortly after, I think it was like a play or two after, Geno gets like a little bit unsettled. And for whatever reason, he throws this ball. I mean, he probably should have either thrown it away or eaten a sack. But he tries to force the ball into not even a tight window. He just tries to force the ball where it probably shouldn't have gone. It ends up in a Rams pick 6, which There was a block in the back call. They end up calling it back. Like I said, this was just a completely bad ball by Gino. Threw it right to the defense. Like, basically threw it right to the guy. So then basically this leads to, what is that? I can't remember the score now, but that should make it 20. Oh yeah. So it's 20-13 at this point. Seattle at 8:46 in the fourth quarter gets a block punt. Tino, what tie it? I actually don't remember how they. Gino ties it. I forget who he threw it to. I think it was JSN here. I mean, they went on a insane last minute drive. That was honestly really awesome to watch. It was. Oh, am I reading this wrong? I won't lie to you. My notes are a little bit all over the place for this game because I got so excited just watching it. So basically, it's to the point where Gino gets the ball back. I don't need my notes for the rest of this. Gino gets the ball back with about 56 seconds left, and that's when the touchdown happens. They get the ball back with about, I think, like 2-ish minutes. They basically do a 2-minute drill. JSN, insane game. Gino finishes with 363 passing and 180. That was two touchdowns with the JSN. This leads to them getting a touchdown to tie it with 11, like I said, 57 seconds left. So we end up going into overtime. Rams get a great stop on defense. I was shocked that they were able to get the stop. Second that the Seahawks got the ball in overtime, it's like, shit, this game's probably over. Because similar to a 1 o'clock game we'll talk about here in a minute, second the team went into overtime, their defense was just, it was gas, boy. But they were able to get the ball back, and then an insane throw by Matt Stafford. One-handed catch by Demarcus Robinson right into a bucket. Speaking of insane throws, by the way, Patrick Mahomes. Insane throw by that boy. But yeah, this game was insane. Matt Stafford ends up winning it in overtime. Rams won 26-20. We had 2 overtime thrillers. One that led into Sunday Night Football, and then one that led into Monday night. Then we had one at 1 p.m. with the Patriots. But yeah, that basically does that for the Rams-Seahawks game. Very, very exciting game. Seahawks now drop to 4-5. Rams improve to 4-4. Cardinals are in the lead in that division, and man, the NFC West just seems to get wilder and wilder. So we are probably now going to move to 1 o'clock slate, talk a little bit of some of these games. Baltimore completely destroys Denver. It's 41-10. There's just some first play of the game. Bo Nix has a pick 6. Lamar ends up getting sacked out of field goal range, though, so it ends up being nullified. Ravens get a stop on 4th and 1, which then leads to Derrick Henry getting his 100th touchdown. Lamar was 8 for 8 for 136 with 4:23 to go, I think, in the first half at this point still. Ravens get a PI that led to a Broncos Philly special touchdown for Bo Nix, get his first receiving touchdown of his career, which is kind of funny. It was just funny play. I forgot about the Philly special for a minute, so it's funny to see him walk down. I was like, oh, and they're like, and Bo Nix gets his first receiving touchdown of the year. Like, my brain got messed up. Like, I thought he was a receiver for a minute. And it's just like, oh, hey, good shit. It's like, wait, that's a quarterback. It was an awesome play, though. But yeah, like I said, that was our only touchdown of the day. It was 41-10. Zay Flowers scores twice, both on big. He had a big play that he scored on. Derrick Henry scores again, makes it 31-10. Lamar Jackson. This is the stat I want to bring up. 275 passing, 5 games in a row, which is a franchise record now. Shout out to him, man. He's just been absolutely balling out all season. Been looking so good. And I don't think I really wrote too much about Denver. Denver just got their asses kicked in this game. I don't think there was too much to really go over. Yeah, they got their asses kicked. Great win for Baltimore, who, man, with some trade and everything, it's Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens are the 3 teams that we're gonna have to keep our eyes on because until somebody else proves it, I don't trust the Texans fully still, especially with some of the shakiness. We haven't even talked about them. They lost Thursday. We'll talk about that game actually because I totally forgot to mention it. Speaking of the Texans, because I don't trust them. They lose 21-13 on Thursday night on Halloween. Garrett Wilson. Filthy. Nasty touchdown by him. Absolutely disgusting. I saw it happen. It's like, fuck, that's a catch, isn't it? He kicked my ass in fantasy as well. Devontae Adams gets his first touchdown late in the 4th with the Jets to basically seal the deal. Yeah, that touchdown pretty much ended it. If you had a teaser with 42 seconds left, the Texans get in the field goal range, kick a field goal, try to get the ball back with an onside, don't get it. And Jets win. Much needed win for the Jets, who all of a sudden now at 3-6. Second in the AFC East at 3-6. I mean, their season isn't over. They can actually legitimately go on a run. I'm not going to talk myself into it just yet, but we got Cardinals, Colts, bye, Seahawks, Dolphins, Jags, Rams, Bills, Dolphins. A lot of beatable teams there, so the Jets are going to have to be a team we keep our eye on. As for the Texans, C.J. Stroud didn't play the best game, 11 for 30 for 191. He's just been, when he plays up against some of these better defenses, I mean, he's been playing kind of bad. And with no Nico Collins now, no Stephon Diggs, it's kind of getting concerning. Tank Dell absolutely goes off, though, 6 for 126. Joe Mixon for 24 carries, 106 yards, a touchdown. Breece Hall, 15 carries for 74. Garrett Wilson, 9 for 90 and 2 touchdowns. Really great win by the Jets, who, like I said, they just needed that win. It was an awesome win for them. They got themselves back. They feel a lot better about it. And for the Texans, man, they're lucky that the Colts are just... They're lucky their division's a complete... In general, their division's just a complete dumpster fire. Colts are in second place, 2 wins. I mean, they lost as well, so that's nice for the Texans who have the tiebreaker over them. And, yeah, Jackson, Titans... they kind of stink. So that's a not horrible loss for the Texans, but man, they really should have won that game. Vegas had this. No wonder the Jets were favored by 2.5. I understand it now. It's like, hey, Vegas. Now that's why you're Vegas. That's why you're Vegas. Another game that really doesn't matter too much. Bengals win 41-24. Joe Burrow has 5 passing touchdowns, 251 passing yards. I mean, Desmond Ridder was getting some pass attempts at some point in the game. I actually messed up one of my bet stats. I didn't think Jacoby Myers hit his over because, no joke, they basically just didn't show this game on at all during red zone. That's where a lot of my focus was on during the game. So, yeah, I may actually fix this. That's awesome. So we're actually 37-32 on NFL props. I thought Jacoby didn't hit his stuff because, like I said, they swapped through so many quarterbacks. It's like, oh. I didn't think that they were going to get anything done. We got Chase Brown, 120 on the ground for the Bengals. Mike Gesicki, 5 for 102. Looks like he's going to step up big if T. Higgins is going to stay out. Jermaine Burton, apparently there's going to be a big part of the game plan, have a lot featured for him, and then he showed up to the game in pajamas, I believe, and then he was late to some meetings or didn't, no call, no show to walk through, which is really tough for him because apparently the reason he dropped in the draft was some character issues, and then now they're making themselves relevant. It's like, man, that kid could have had himself a big game. But like I said, Gardner Minshew, 10 for 17, 124. Desmond Ridder, 11 for 16, 74. This game was just horrible. Jamar Chase, 7 for 43 receiving, so he did get a reception over, but man, his yards were horrible. They just really didn't need him. They kicked they kicked their ass. Another ass kicking, yeah. Raiders drive down and rush in early with Zamir White, yeah. So they actually scored first, and it looked like, oh shit. So Bengals have to get some shit together. But then Bengals answer right back right away with the Chase Brown touchdown. Joe Burrow's actually 15 of 15 before he had his first missed throw, which was like, okay, Joe. This is the old Joe Burrow we knew. Bengals, they score again with Andre Yoshivas kind of put them ahead. And this is where it starts to roll away a little bit. Sample touchdown makes it 24-10 for the Bengals. Mike Gesicki would then score to make it, Raiders muff a handoff with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. This would lead to a Mike Gesicki touchdown to make it 31-10, and then that's basically game's over by that point. Burrow has a pick 6 to make it 31-16, which made the score a little bit closer. It was just a bad pick 6. Mike Gesicki has a huge day. Gets a second touchdown, makes it 38-17 for the Bengals, and like I said, they kick their ass. Get a field goal late. The only thing I'm concerned about, Joe Burrow, like I said, had a disgusting pick 6, which was just kind of a bad throw. But other than that, Bengals are starting to look like they're a little bit in form. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at running back. Like I said, I don't know if Chase Brown isn't bad. If he's able to keep doing stuff like this, yet again, Noah's Raiders, that's going to be really good for them. Patriots Titans. I don't think there's too much to talk about it. Ramondre Stevenson scores to give them a lead in the third. Pats get a tip drill INT in the second quarter. That was my first thing. Titans score in the opening drive, by the way. Pats punt. And then, Pats get a tip drill a little bit later. That was some of the key plays. Mondre scores late in the second half to give them a lead. The past that, Titans, this is the part that sucks. So this game was tied at this point then. There were some field goals back and forth. Then Titans get a strip sack with 7:55 to go in the fourth, and that's basically where this game flipped on its head. All of a sudden, they get to a touchdown with Nick Westbrook-Akine. So it's like, fucking hell, man. Did it again. We're gonna try not to knock my light down this time. But like I said, Nick Westbrook-Akine scores a touchdown, makes it. I gotta move this a little bit. Makes it 17-10 at this point. So it's 17-10. I'll just read you my notes. Maeve drives down the field. all caps, made a Ramondre. We got a game going to overtime. Oh my God, Drake May is going to be good. A lot of technical issues today. This is where I need somebody in the back to help me with some of this shit. But like I said, Drake May, absolutely insane play. So he drives him all the way down the field. There's basically 11 seconds left. He's running around. This is for sure last play of the game. He's running around, making plays. Second longest behind Jane Daniels' Hail Mary. Second longest play, I believe, was like 11, 12 seconds. He's just running around, like trying to buy time. Eventually, he's able to throw it. Throws it to Ramondre Stevenson, who catches it. They go to overtime. I'm telling you, this shit was chef's kiss, man. It was a beautiful play by Drake May. I mean, he's running all around, making it. So they end up, Titans get the ball first. They go to overtime. Obviously, Titans get the ball first. Just talked about that. Worded it backwards. Got to love it. Titans get a field goal. Patriots get a huge stop. And then Drake May says he misjudged the wind. So there was a ball where he actually had Demario Douglas open. But Demario Douglas had a step or two if he was able to get the ball there. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is like a 60, 70-yard throw. Like, it was a bomb. So he's throwing it really downfield. Like I said, Demario Douglas has a step, but the ball kind of drifts a little bit inside, so the other safety is able to come by and pick it off to end the game. But like I said, so first off, the Titans won the toss. So they got the ball, and so the Patriots got to decide which way they went with the wind. So hearing that, it's like, okay. So they fucked up the coin toss by not going with the right side of the wind, or Drake May just misjudged something, and it was just a misjudge in the moment. But like I said, Drake May is probably going to be a guy. I mean, oh my God. That throw was beautiful. I mean, that... he was awesome. Sitting there watching him. I'll admit, as a guy, I love AR. Love AR. Watching Drake May do that one play where he's able to run around in the pocket and then throw, it's like, oh, man. That's why it's like, man, that'd be fun if that guy was my quarterback, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong. Love AR. I'm excited to see what he'll become, but I was like looking over there at my jersey, like, for approval. Look at my AR jersey, just, man, what if that was a Drake May jersey? Makes you wonder, obviously. I mean, it's crazy because, like, man, what if Colts, big old what if the Colts were able to get the 4 seed this year? I mean, 4 seed this year, maybe move up and get Jaden Daniels or Drake May instead of AR. NFL's a crazy world. How the Colts don't get Bryce Young, don't get CJ Stroud. They basically get the AR Will Levis decision. And then the very next draft, it's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels is top 3. It's like, okay. And then the following one is Shadur, Caleb Ward. It's just how the drafts go where it's like, all right, here's a gem or two. Some teams get lucky with the gems. I know those are year teams are the first place team. Like for Bryce Young looked pretty good, so I can't say that. But for example, like teams that get Caleb Williams, even Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. It's not a bad option between 1 and 2. But yeah, say you get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, and you're the one. Like the Panthers get the 1 year where they get. Like I bet the Panthers would love to get Caleb Williams, but their year they got Bryce Young as the number 1 overall pick. This is a bad year to have the kind of number 1 overall pick because there's no like proven. All right, this quarterback's going to be a lock to be the best player in the draft. In my opinion, Shadur looks pretty good. I'm curious to see how it's going to translate in the NFL, just for the fact that his offensive line, it's been playing a lot better. We need to talk about that in college, obviously. But, yeah, like I said, it's just very interesting how that whole stuff works. And I think the Patriots are going to, basically all this to say, I think the Patriots are going to be very, very happy with Drake May moving forward. Saints lose 22-23 to the Panthers. Panthers get their second win of the season. Cam Jordan didn't even want to go to the locker room after this loss. We got, what the hell? So did I actually halfway through this? Oh, I just wrote the wrong color. Okay, so Chris Olave, he leaves in a so Saints actually opening drive, they score 3, Panthers don't do anything. This leads into now some big play stats. Chris Olave, man. Wow. I don't know what his NFL future is going to look like. I doubt he comes back this season for sure. I hate to say it, but I don't know if he's going to come back to football, man. This guy has a serious history of concussion issues, now has another one. I'll admit, Derek Carr kind of threw him into it. Another one of those two where the kind of a dirty hit, the guy just hits him straight head to head. I mean, you knew he was going to get flagged right away. The fact that Olave left on a stretcher, too, after a hit to the head is like, holy shit. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but, man, just T's and P's that guy. Because, man, scary situations happening with him. Xavier Legette would then score from pass from Bryce Young to make it 7-6. That's going to be a fun combo to potentially watch for the future. I don't know why I wrote that in lime when that's not their color. Chuba Hubbard scores. Gives the Panthers a 17-13 lead at this point. Foster Moreau TD would make it a 23-17 lead for the Saints, which in the Saints DB rips the ball from Legette in the 4th, which is a huge play for the Saints because it keeps them from having to give the Panthers more opportunities to score. And then sure enough, the Panthers take the lead with Chuba Hubbard, second touchdown with 2:18 to go. Horrible tackling by the Saints, and I put that in all caps. Saints just had horrible tackling all day. That Dennis Allen got fired. Saints would end up blowing a later lead to lose it to the Panthers, and Dennis Allen got fired. I don't think, not too shocking. After that, they've lost 7 straight games. They need to do something at this point to get a spark with the team going. Just sucks for Dennis Allen. Felt like he, I don't want to say he wasn't given a chance this year because he was getting more chances than years prior. Just a tough situation. Yeah, they lose Derek Carr, have quarterback issues, defensive issues. Yeah, it's Saints are kind of being a rebuild. Shout out the Panthers, shout out the Saints. Falcons, Cowboys. This is 27-21. This game was a lot closer score-wise than it actually was. Cowboys take opening drive down to score 3. Falcons would answer with a touchdown to Drake London, who stands on his head, ends up with a hip pointer injuries. This was also the Falcons' first game with 2 sacks this season since week 1, which is, wow. That tells you all you need to know about their pass rush. Cowboys have a bad 4th and 1 at midfield, which would lead. This is where London ends up hurting his hip. Is a little bit after this is when they announced it on Red Zone. But Cowboys, bad 4th and 1 play. They tried to basically do an end around to CeeDee Lamb that. This ain't focus, goddamn. That was not it. They end up converting it later and they get it later. But yeah, that play, it basically is a no chance from the start. The Cowboys have a wild touchdown to Rico Dowdle with just a wild. He made the catch way harder on himself than he really needed to, but it was. Shout out to Rico, man. I don't have the score written down, so I forget what they did there. But Cowboys, so the Cowboys are down 11 in the third, and at this point in the game, they are 0 for 3 on 4th down, and they are 0 for 6 on 3rd down. And this is about midway through the 3rd quarter. And then shortly later, Dak Prescott, this is when he ends up getting hurt. And they initially announced it's his hand, so he's out with his hand because he's kind of bloody and all that. Algier would then score right after this to make it 27-13 Falcons. And then Dak later ruled out with the hammy. He just got put on IR a few minutes ago. By a few minutes, I mean probably like 3-4 hours ago they got announced. But yeah, it's a tough situation for the Cowboys who... Cowboys get a late score, like I said, from CeeDee Lamb to make it 27-21. But CeeDee Lamb is hurt. Grabbed his shoulder. He's having some AC joint issues, I believe is what I saw. If not, it's the case. He's definitely dealing with AC joint. I heard that. Shoulder contusion. It's something shoulder-wise. Very concerning because as a guy who's dealt with serious shoulder issues with the popping out and all that stuff, like if his shoulder did indeed like pop out once or popped out during the game at all, which I hope it didn't, then that's going to be that sucks because that's definitely going to start coming back to haunt him because once your shoulder dislocates, pops out of place, and pops back in, it just becomes easier and easier. It's like the concussion things where it's just like obviously your brain can heal faster from concussions because you get them more often, but the more often you get, it's like the more often you get the concussion, the easier it is to get, and it's just like that's the same way with shoulder. You pop your shoulder out once or twice, all of a sudden that starts to become more and more of an issue. The fact that they had CD in, so like I know this, like I said, this was a game, Dak Prescott. But the fact that he was hurt, that he went back in there and toughed it out, shows you the boys are at least battling for Mike McCarthy. But I don't know if he's going to be able to stay all season. Bills Dolphins, banger of a game. Bills drive down their opening drive, don't do anything with it really. I don't do it, man. HN scores for the Dolphins on a receiving touchdown. I believe that was the first score of the game. I've got very slow starts of the half for the Bills and Dolphins, and then the action started to happen. But Bills scored twice. Josh Allen got a rushing touchdown, and then he threw a passing touchdown, but that leads to a... I don't know if I had the pick written down. It led to a field goal for them. There was also a really insane pick off Keon Coleman where he's going to catch something, kind of pops off his hands. And that was a really loud crash. Gotta love photos just randomly falling off the wall. That was weird. Anyway, Bills Dolphins, back to that. Like I said, there was a weird interception off Keon Coleman where it just kind of bounces off his body and everything. But second half, very early on, I believe this might have even been the first try. What's his first name for the Bills? I'm gonna give me like 5 seconds. If I can't pull it, we're leaving it. All right. What is it? Give me 5 more. Let me think. Nope, don't got it. It's Elam. I don't know. I probably should have looked it up at this point, huh? But Elam punched out the ball from Mostert, which would then lead to a Bills touchdown on 4th and goal to Mac Hollins. This makes this game 12-10 because they missed a PAT. And remember that this missed PAT would come back for a lot of the game. Thankfully, ended up not mattering. But because of missed PAT, it's 12-10. Ray Davis scores on a huge play for the Bills with 2:07 left in the third. Bills get the 2-point to make it 20-13 because, yeah, they missed the PAT earlier, and this was an awesome run by Ray Davis. He basically just busted wide open through a big hole. And like I said, that makes it 2013. Damon Achane's able to score his second touchdown to make the game tied with 12:14 to go left in the fourth. Bills with a heavy package equals some Allen magic, which equals the touchdown to... I actually don't know what his first name is. Something Morris, one of their tight ends, number 85, I believe. With that would make this 27-20 with Bills with 6:18 left to go. Josh Allen was just like it's basically kind of a busted up play where he's just... I can't remember if it was a play action for... I think obviously it was for sure a play action, but I can't remember... I can't remember who's originally supposed to get the ball, but Josh Allen kind of looks around, runs out to his right a little bit, and then last second just kind of like, as he's getting hit, just throws it, lets it go. Tight end's able to catch it. I would recommend looking it up. It's honestly a truly awesome play. But yeah, like I said, the Bills end up scoring that. 6:18 to go, it's 27-20. Dolphins will score with a Waddle touchdown to make it 27-20. Like I said, the missed PAT comes up huge because it could have been 28 to 27 when they scored, so they would have, or 26, so they would have had to go for two. Instead, they just kicked a PAT. But like I said, it didn't matter because third down. This was a huge part of the game. This is basically where the Bills won it. There was a third down conversion. Third down going to be fourth. Basically, a hit to Coleman's head by Jordan Poyer, which I'll admit, you hate to see the call. I think it technically is a foul, but I think the biggest complaint is a lot of Dolphins fans are mad that Poyer's put himself in a lot of these situations this year where this just happened way more than it should. But, like I said, so they hit Coleman in the head with a head-to-head, and this leads to... Oh, okay. Sorry, I got it. It leads to a 61-yard field goal by Bass with 5 seconds to go, which would end up being the game winner. Waddle gets tackled backwards on a pitchy woo-woo attempt. But yeah, awesome win for the Bills, who now swept the Dolphins again. Josh Allen improves this to, I think, 8-1 now against the Dolphins. And man, they just owned them. I mean, that was a game. That was a really fun game. Dolphins had a chance to steal at the end, but like I said, not able to get it done. Chargers 27-10 win over the Browns. Not too much to talk about this. Chargers absolutely kicked their ass. First big play for the Chargers is a punt return, leads them down the field really far, which led to a Palmer touchdown. Busted coverage leads to a Quentin Johnson touchdown down the sideline. I mean, he just busted coverage. He runs free. Big day for him. I think his first 100-yard game, and then he's also able to score. Chargers forced a red zone interception to Jameis. It would be one of, I think, 3 interceptions for Jameis that day. Winston has a third second half interception. All of them came in the second half as well. Chargers get a blocked field goal, which then led to a J.K. Dobbins second score. They lead 27-3, and yeah, big game's pretty much over at this point. Awesome game for the Chargers. They continue to look good. Herbert looked really good passing, and it seems like they're starting to unlock more and more in the pass. Not only in the run game now it seems like the pass game's starting to unlock Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey, Will Dissly. I mean, the Chargers team's fun to watch. There's no better way to put it. They are actually truly fun to watch. Commanders, Giants, this was a close battle. What do I even, Jones gets a fumble strip sack, and then a PI would lead the ball on the line. Terry McLaurin. Did Terry McLaurin score a touchdown, or did he get the PI? I forget. Someone got a PI, so basically the ball to one, leads to a Terry McLaurin touchdown. Commies converted a fourth down in the red zone, which led to an Austin Eckler touchdown, so they started going up quick early. I forgot to mention for the Falcons game, Darnell Mooney. Busted coverage by the Cowboys. There was a lot of that this Sunday, which is honestly shocking. Jane Daniels with 11 seconds to go in the half. Wow. The fact that they trust a rookie this much with no timeouts, really, it's truly impressive. He hits Terry McLaurin down the sideline to score another touchdown before half, which would be huge because Giants' 4th-and-1 touchdown ends up getting called back, which really sucks for them because I don't think they end up getting anything out of that possession. Daniel Jones would then have a run that makes it 24-16. Gets a tough run in the end zone. Maybe they did score. I don't remember who scored for the Giants, but they scored. Sorry, they scored in the second quarter. So yeah, not in the second half. So yeah, they didn't score in that possession. Daniel Jones, like I said, he had an insane run where he basically just trucks a guy, shakes off another guy, then runs through both. I mean, this is a run where it's like, damn, that's actually okay, Daniel. I see you. That's pretty impressive. That would lead then to Theo Johnson rips it right up the seat. So there's some field goals obviously in between here and there as well that I'm not talking about. But Theo Johnson then get wide open up the seam with 2:48 to go to make it 27-22 after another failed 2-point attempt for the Giants. That's basically where the game ends. Commanders win. Daniel's first rookie ever in the modern era to beat the Giants twice in the same season. I mean, this kid is just special, man. They hit our win total for us already, so that's our second future that's already hit. Win total was 6.5 for the season. This team is 7-2, man. 7-2 for the Washington Commanders, first place in the NFC East. I mean, this team's truly special. Just traded for Marshall Lattimore today. Yeah, this team's going to be good. Jaguars, Eagles, Saquon. I don't need to talk about it. Everyone's seen the play. Saquon's a beast. That's the best way. Saquon does the beast, dude. Did I not write down anything for the Eagles game? That's crazy. Where? Did I seriously just forget to take notes about one whole game? That's funny. I actually might have. Wow. So I don't know how I spaced that up, but yeah, Oh, that's why. 4 o'clock slate. I went through all my notes. I'm like, man, so I just quit taking notes for one game. That's crazy. And then it's like, hey, jackass. 4 o'clock slate. So yeah, first quarter, let's see. Oh yeah, the Jaguars fumble a punt, muff a punt, which leads to Saquon Barkley scoring a touchdown, which is the first points in the first quarter for the Eagles this season. Pretty crazy it's gone that long. Eagles would then get an interception off a weird tip a little bit later. Heartbreaker for your boy. We had Johnny Wilson to score a touchdown at plus 2,400. That I would have won like 400 or 500 on if he would have scored there. But he gets a PI, which kind of was a PI call. So then it gets them the third. It was 3rd and 17 at this point. They called him back. And Saquon Barkley rips off a 19-yard run for a touchdown. I mean, this, you want to talk about disheartening, man. Some of these Jaguars games just get, it's disheartening to watch. I mean, they literally just get ripped open on a run on 3rd and 17. I mean, it's literally, all right, we just got to tackle this dude. It's a field goal. We win the game. Or not win. We hold in the field goal and we win this possession. Excuse me. Get an awesome stop after basically just getting fucked pretty much and put in this field position. And yeah, like I said, they just leave them running. 16-0 Eagles. Sirianni, just take your goddamn points. I'm not going to even talk about that part of the game. Hurts gets a long touchdown that makes it 22-0. The Eagles look great on offense. They're looking great on offense at this point in the game. Like I said, I've read that. I wrote it down like 4 times. Take your goddamn points, Nick Sirianni. So I'm going to emphasize that 2 more times while we're talking about this team. The Eagles would then have a horrible 4th and inches. He just completely outthought himself. The Jaguars actually stopped the tush push twice, which was pretty impressive. The fact that they were able... Man, I'm not even talking about them. I forgot that I wrote as well. So Jags fumble punt, like I said. Jags failed 4th down on their own 39, which then led to that Eagles INT a little bit later. The Jags stopped both tush pushes on the 2-pointers, which... Take your goddamn points, Nick Sirianni. Jags would then get a sack. Would then get a sneak TD after Saquon fumbles. Oh, so sorry. Let me rephrase that. So Jaguars, they get a Trevor Lawrence sneak touchdown. Makes the game a little bit. So now there's 1 score. So it's like 22-7. So then I thought he was down, but apparently the way they ruled it is he fought off the tackle just enough to apparently be okay. I don't know how that works, but somebody swipes at Saquon's leg, just barely nicks him. Saquon hits the ground. Ball squirts out because he hits the ground. Scoop score for the Jags. It's now 22-16 Eagles. And all of a sudden, it's like, dude, you guys are just up 22-0. Now this is a ball game. And mind you, this is all in second half pretty much. This is the cardiac Jags again. Barkley now has 500-yard rushing games this season, by the way, which is really impressive. But A.J. Brown would then get hurt sometime before half, which sucked because I don't know exactly when to pinpoint it because then he would come out of halftime and go right back in right away, which is very concerning. Then 3rd and 22. Devontae Smith, man, tried his best Garrett Wilson impersonation. Has an awesome touchdown to make it 28-16. Trevor Lawrence rushed for a touchdown. Now it's 28-23, 4:04 left. Eagles missed his 57-yard field goal, which makes no sense after Sirianni just refused to take points so many other points in the game. Now we're going to kick a 57-yarder. It's just that made no sense to me, but PI would allow the Jags to stay alive. Then Lawrence would throw a pick to seal it. So, to, I believe, Jamel Dean, I believe. Shout out to the Eagles, big win for them, and another heartbreaker for the Jaguars, who just continually struggle and keep losing some of these games. It just feels like this one I guess makes sense. They were at least able to cover, but man, do all that comeback for nothing pretty much. Then last 2 games talk about these are just pretty much blowouts. We'll just get into kind of a Bears lose 29-9 to the Cardinals, and the Lions win 24-14 to the Packers. Packers score late to make that a little bit closer than it was. Just some notes to go over. I'm going to kind of combine these 4 teams into one, just kind of go over my notes from watching 1 o'clock games. So, a big punt return for Greg Dortch leads to a Trey McBride touchdown. The Cardinals get a break with leverage penalty, leads to a Benson touchdown because Connor gets hurt. Field goal by leverage penalty, I mean on the field goal, somebody hit the snapper pretty much. So Connor looks like he's going to dive in the end zone pretty much and get a touchdown, gets hit in his head. As a guy who bet James Conner, fuck! It sucks because he kind of got banged up off that. They put in they put in Trey Benson, who ends up scoring again right away. When it's just like, oh my god, man, of course. It's like, that could have been James Conner's, but it's not, whatever. James Conner still has an amazing day. He ends up coming back later. Obviously, man, Amari DeMarcado, man, rips a 53-yarder with 11 seconds left in the half. That's just absolute heartbreaker for the Bears. I mean, you're talking, like I said, 11 seconds to half. It's damn near just like, hey, let's run it to get to maybe some better field goal position. And he just rips it down the right side, hits a hole, and he is gone. Cardinals get a safety. Like I said, it's 29-9 at this point. Pretty much over. Cardinals end up getting a safety at this point, so the Bears have to punt it to them, and they're pretty much trying to do a punt onside kind of. So, funniest part, as he punt onsides it, every single player on the front line for the Cardinals, I haven't seen that before, personally, so I thought it was awesome. Or if I have, it's been a minute that I honestly forgot about it. It was funny to see. Everyone just pretty much calls a fair catch because, obviously, yeah. Like I said, big win for them. Then Packers-Lions. Lions get a 4th and goal. Throw it up to Amon-Ra, which makes it 7-3 after the Packers get their opening field goal. Amon-Ra 6 touchdowns now, which tries the franchise record. Keep that in mind. We're going to repeat that again. Amon-Ra has 6 straight touchdowns, which ties the franchise record, and 6 straight games, obviously. So, he's going to score again. Dan Campbell's one of those guys who loves to look for that. So, we're going to be Amon-Ra anytime touchdown for next week. You can bookmark that bet for later. Brian Branch gets ejected with 6:10 to go after... horrible call, man. I get that for the ejection part. I get that it was unnecessary. He probably shouldn't have done it. But their explanation, and by there I mean the refs, was he had time to get his head out of the way. So it's like, all right. So if he had time, apparently he had time. Somebody in New York thought he had time to move it out of his way, move his head out of the way, and just hit. He gets ejected. You hate to see it because very early on. And this is a guy who's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So the fact that he got ejected from a game, it's like, hey, that's pretty important. And this is the NFL. The fact that he got ejected for it's like, oh, okay. Green Bay is gifted a scoring position and ended up missing a field goal. Horrible weather conditions, by the way. It's super, super rainy at this point. Jahmyr Gibbs gets a touchdown with 9:42 to go and makes it 24-3 at this point, and the game's pretty much over. Like I said, there's obviously, as you can see, I've skipped a lot of the scores, a lot of stuff. I mean, they just put it to them. Like, not too much. There's not too much I can even say about the Packers. Packers just had a horrible day. He looked hurt. And by he, I mean I'm about to say Jordan Reed. Jaden Reed and Jordan Love. Jaden Reed was okay. Jordan Love was not. He just seemed hurt. And, yeah, it's just tough luck. So that's probably going to do it for the scores. Like I said, those are kind of my notes and some thoughts I had on the week. We're going to start looking a little bit ahead here soon. Obviously, because we have Pickem tomorrow. So there's going to be some interesting stuff with the trade deadline. Mike Williams to the Steelers. We forgot to talk about that. Mentioned Preston Smith to the Packers. We talked about Cowboys getting Mingo. I don't think there's any other injury news I really missed. We talked about Dak Prescott going to the IR. Lions acquires Darius. We already talked about that, actually. Raiders named Scott Turner interim OC. Raiders pretty much cleaned all their offensive staff out. Offensive line coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. Get the fuck out of here, they said. I didn't say that. That's what they said. But Bucks, Todd Bowles comes out and said lost to Chiefs didn't come down to not going for too late, which I honestly agree with. I don't think that's the reason they lost the game, but it would have been interesting to see if he would have gone for it there. Joe Flacco is to remain the starter as of right now. We'll see how that goes. I don't think it's a horrible. We'll just see. I don't want to talk about this Anthony Richardson situation anymore. I'm just going to watch it as a fan and see. Hopefully I think he's going to play again this season. It's just a matter of how many weeks from now. Eagles, A.J. Brown is day-to-day with a knee injury. We talked about Broncos signed Cooper to a 4-year extension worth $60 million. Jonathan Cooper, which now makes sense, is why they traded Baron Browning. They got rid of him. Were able to sign one of the other guys. AC joint is what CeeDee Lamb's. That's awesome. The fact it's not a dislocation issue, that's huge for them. Christian McCaffrey has his practice window day open. Look for him to return, I assume, this week, if not next week, for sure. London day-to-day with the hip pointer. Zach Moss out for probably the rest of the regular season, as we talked about. Dennis Allen got fired. They're naming Rizzi as the interim OC. We talked about Luke Getsy, all them getting fired from the Raiders. And I think that pretty much does it. I don't think there's too much other news to go with. We're going to keep our eye on some stuff like I said, trade deadline. Steelers nearly acquired Christian Kirk before a season-ending injury, so that makes sense now why they went after Mike Williams as hard as they did. They just needed a receiver bad. Commanders becoming hot trade destination. I just wanted to read that because that is awesome. When have we ever heard that? Washington Commanders are a trade destination. Shout out to them and the Lions truly turning around their seasons and franchises. With that being said, though, super, super long. Time to go to college football. We aren't going to talk over every single game, like I said. We're just going to talk over the big games. A few teams on bye. A lot of chaos that happened. I'm actually not even going to go into detail for these games. I'm just going to go over some scores because, like I said, we're already planning on... we already went super long, and like I said, by next year we're going to be doing college football its own episode, so... I'm not going to say I'm going to throw in the towel, but I'm not going to give huge breakdowns, especially because we're... By the way, college football playoffs getting announced tonight on the bracket. I'm very excited, man. I might give out some teams I like, but yeah, we'll see about that. Jacksonville State, 31-21 win over Liberty. Western Kentucky, 31-14 win over Kennesaw State. Shout out to both Kennesaw and Jacksonville State for covering for us. Tulane destroys Charlotte on Thursday, and then Friday, big UConn wins by 7 to push. Boise State covers a huge number for us, and then South Florida just kicks Florida Atlantic's ass. Northwestern wins 26-20 against Purdue on Saturday. Ohio State, Penn State, 20-13. Pretty fun game, honestly. There's a lot of back and forth in that one. 38-31, Syracuse beats Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech blows it again. I mean, they're the new Nebraska. They're just blowing leads left and right, blowing game. Ole Miss, 63-31 victory. I just want to bring up two names in this one for you. Jackson Dart, 515, 6 passing touchdowns. Dominique Thomas. I don't know why they're talking about Dominique Thomas when we should be talking about that boy, Jordan Watkins, excuse me, sorry. 8 receptions, 254 yards, 5 touchdowns. Boy went off. North Carolina State beats Stanford 59-28. Eastern Michigan able to hang on to cover for us, but Toledo comes back to win after almost losing outright, which would have been a horrible loss for Toledo. Eastern Michigan does cover for us, which is awesome. Speaking of horrible losses, Memphis loses to UTSA. That's a horrible loss for them. Pretty much kills their hopes of college football playoffs, conference, all that jazz. Air Force, they lose 20-3 to Army. Bryson Daly got, right before kickoff, just got undisclosed, not playing. And the Army head coach is coming out saying we hope to get him back soon. Don't know what that's all about, but that's a little bit concerning. Hopefully he comes back because he has the whole team Army. Oklahoma beats Maine. Buffalo beats Akron 41-30. Duke... Somehow Miami wins 53-31 and covers after Duke covered most of that game. That was a heartbreaker if you bet Duke. Illinois loses 25-17 to Minnesota. Vanderbilt beats Auburn. Huge win there. Vanderbilt's officially going bowling, and they're 7.5-point dogs. UAB 59-21 win over Tulsa. App State beats Old Dominion. Georgia 34-20 win over Florida. Game was a lot closer than that score says. 38-17 win for Oregon over Michigan. That game was not close. North Carolina 35-11, not close against Florida State. UCLA beats Nebraska 27-20. That's a shocker. That's a holy shit. You shouldn't lose that game, Nebraska. And also makes you look back to the Colorado-Nebraska game like, how the hell Colorado lose that? We'll have to keep that in mind though. Houston 24-19 win against Kansas State, which is a bad loss for Kansas State. That sucks. That kind of, unless in these last month, 3 teams lose twice. Kansas State's probably not making the Big 12 title game. They should still be bowl eligible, but sucks for them. Obviously, they wanted to make the Big 12 title game. If not, maybe make the college football playoffs. The wagon. It's true. 47-10 win for Indiana over Michigan State. Never a doubt. Curtis Rourke. Now getting some Heisman talk. We'll talk about the Heisman here in a minute. But man, Indiana. Wagon. They're going to make the college football playoffs, man. I think they're going to beat Michigan. They're 14.5-point favorites against Michigan. First time all season, I think they've been double-digit favorites. Within reason. Because, like, for example, they were double-digit favorites against Western Illinois, but that's... Sorry. Maybe I used within reason was the right wording, but Western Illinois, let's be honest, we expect that 7-3. I mean, they're up 14-point favorites against Michigan, and you know what's crazy? A lot of people are kind of like, yeah? That's just, I mean, shout out Kurt Signetti, man. He's completely turned around this IU program. That's going to be one of our main stories we talk about in this offseason is, man, what? Because I use the story of the season right now. I mean, this is like one of the, I mean, and especially in recent memory, this is probably one of the best, like, turnarounds in college football, man. This is a program that, I mean, they weren't even making bowl games, dude. It took Michael Penix basically carrying that team for them to get to some bowl games. And past that, I mean, Indiana was irrelevant. Like, I live in Indiana. I'm not going to say I, like, religiously follow college football. I follow pretty closely. I mean, I can't tell you shit about IU. I can at least tell you some stuff about Purdue here and there. I can't tell you some stuff about Notre Dame. IU, it's like, they've had a horrible football history. So the fact that they're getting this whole turnaround now, I mean, it's truly, truly awesome. Awesome to watch, awesome to see. Iowa State, man, loses to Texas Tech. This is a heartbreaker. Now Iowa State now has one loss, which so does Colorado, which leaves BYU as the only undefeated Colorado's actually undefeated in conference, though, which is interesting. We'll talk about that. Big 12 is going to be fun, man. That's going to be the conference to keep an eye on. But Texas Tech's able to win there. Now Texas Tech has a chance to play spoiler again when they play Colorado. Arizona State blows out Oklahoma State to make bowl eligibility. This is another program that's just an awesome story. Navy loses to Rice. This is actually a horrible loss for Navy. Kind of so many rain delays, though, and everything. It was just a weird game. Got delayed to almost 10 p.m., like 6-7 hour delay. Iowa just rolls over Wisconsin 42-10, just destroys them. Louisville beats Clemson 33-21. What is going on with Clemson, man? That's not a pretty sight. Man, yeah, that's just a tough look for Clemson. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something in the back of my chair, and I'm trying not to turn around because something's a little bit crooked and it was bothering me. I was trying to fix it. I wasn't picking at my ass. I know some of you were thinking of that. I'm just kidding. But like I said, speaking of ass, Clemson just ass. It's a questionable coaching decision. They lose 33-21, and that puts a damper on a lot of their season hopes. Tennessee, 28-18 win over Kentucky. Texas A&M loses 44-20 over South Carolina. Their QB play variance can't overcome it. That's just what I've learned is, their QB play variance is just going to be sometimes going to be great, other times going to be games like this where tough luck when your quarterback's 18 for 28 for 206, one touchdown, one interception. I mean, Reed just didn't have the best of games. Meanwhile, South Carolina just looked really, really great. SMU, 48-25 win over Pitt. Nevada loses to Colorado State, which is looking good. And Baylor, able to get a walk-off field goal win against TCU. They improved to 5-4. I don't think their coach is going to get fired. We talked about their coach potentially being on the hot seat at the beginning of the season. I think the boys are fighting for their coach. I don't think they want to see their coach get fired. So, I think he might end up staying around. So, shout out to Aranda? I can't remember his name, but shout out to the Baylor's head football coach. But like I said, real quick, Big 12. BYU, I guess we have guests over. People being obnoxious. BYU, 5-0. 8-0 in conference. Iowa State, 7-1 overall. 4-1 in conference. Colorado, 4-1. 6-2 overall. 4-1 in conference. Those are the three teams right now to keep eyes on. It's Colorado, Iowa State, and BYU. The only issue that sucks is, man, I gotta hope BYU and Iowa State play each other. And they do not. Okay, that's going to be interesting. So none of these teams play each other. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets left out of the title game if they all finish the season perfect. But if BYU loses even, Big 12 is going to be fun. You're going to have to keep eyes on that. That's going to be a really awesome watch in the season, like I said. Well, overall, we're going to go over the standing. Can I just find the top 25, please? Where's that? Oh, here we go. So playoff standings for let me go back to actually the Big 12 because I want to save that for later. Top 25, we got Oregon at 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3, Miami 4, Texas 5, Penn State 6. I don't agree with this one. Tennessee 7, Indiana 8. Flip those in my opinion. BYU 9, Notre Dame 10, Alabama 11, Boise State 12. SMU 13, LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Iowa State 18, Army 19, Clemson 20, Washington State 21, Colorado 22, Kansas State 23, Pitt 24 Vanderbilt, 25 Louisville. Man. We get our first college football playoff prediction tonight, like I said. If I had to guess, Oregon's in. I don't know. Actually, we're going to hold that off. We're going to hold off the conference football talk. We'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow when we give out some bets because there's going to be some implications of that. And we'll talk about the bracket a little bit in the college football section just because they're going to have a bracket out. So we'll just wait to talk about all that tomorrow, honestly. So that's going to cut off a little bit of time there. And we're going to finish it off quickly. We'll talk just odds. We'll talk very quickly about odds, and then tomorrow we'll actually talk about, like, hey, so this is, like, we'll talk about the actual matchup and who's in as of right now. But, like I said, just quickly to end it, because we've already gone super long today. Don't need to go too much longer. Don't need to just drag on. So, to look at the Heisman picture first. Oh! Why, hello there. Travis Hunter was plus 230 to begin the day. He is now the favorite, tied with Cam Ward at plus 185. No joke, this was plus 230. When did I look at that? It is now 3:38 Eastern. I looked at that about 12:30 Eastern. So you got Travis Hunter, Cam Ward tied, Dylan Gabriel in third, Ashton Jeanty fourth, Curtis Rourke at 5 now, Jackson Dart at 6, and then Shedeur Sanders at 7. And that's probably where we're going to stop because then you got Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, Jalen Milroe. I don't think any of those are going to win it. Bryson Daly getting hurt. That sucks. If he would have played last week, I think he would have been able to be in this conversation. But, man. So, personally for me, I have money on Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Curtis Rourke, and Shedeur Sanders. So I got 4 of the 7 guys that they have right now on the top of the odds. If you've been following along with our show, man, we've been on top of some of these odds, man. 'Cause, yeah, I got Shedeur at plus 6,000. He's now plus 4,500. We got Travis Hunter at plus 3,500, I think, and plus 2,900, and he's now back up to plus 185. The only one I don't have is Cam Ward, which sucks because that's the one I am kind of scared of taking it from him. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to win the Heisman as good as he's been. I mean, unless he just has a 300, 400-yard game. I mean, the biggest thing, too, I think Oregon's just going to kind of shut it down, to be honest. I think, they're going to not show out anything special. If they can beat teams by passing for 200 yards and rushing for 100 and winning the game, that is exactly what Oregon's going to do because they're pretty much, their schedule's pretty easy. So they're going to be to the point where it's all right, let's just get to the Big Ten title game. Let's get to college football playoffs. So that's kind of an interesting point there. Indiana, Curtis Rourke might have a chance to pat some stats because they're going to be throwing up a lot of points. I mean, they've just been scoring a lot. That's why I say pat some stats. He's just been scoring a lot. I mean, this is crazy, dude. Yeah, so plus 5,000. It's now plus 2,000 for Curtis Rourke. We talked about Travis Hunter. I mean, man, dude. I want to see if the cash out went up real quick as we're just talking before I finish some thoughts. Boise State to make the playoffs. That's going to be an awesome one as well. Travis Hunter's cash out did go up a little bit. Nice. Yeah. I think that's all I got for the Heisman for you. Yeah, I just so personally for me, maybe sprinkle Jackson Dart. I would sprinkle Shedeur before I sprinkle Jackson Dart. But yeah, I would not bet anybody lower than Shedeur Sanders unless you just got an insight on they're going to have a big game this weekend and that's going to immediately project them up the rankings. I mean, we're talking about, just look at some of the names. Carson Beck. Carson Beck doesn't have a chance in my opinion because of his stats. Quinn Ewers. No, he's missed a game or two. And there's people lower than that. It's just, yeah. Like I said, I think we kind of got our guys locked in for this week. For the 5 guys I think are going to make it to New York. So we got Hunter. I think Travis Hunter for sure makes it, obviously, at this point. So he's a lock. Who was our locks last week? We'll go over that real quick. So our locks from last week, we had Heisman, New York locks. We had I said Heisman again. Hunter, Jeanty, Ward, Gabriel, and then Bryson Daly was Rourke was my decision. So as of right now, we got Hunter. I do still think it's Ward. I do still think it's Gabriel. As of right now, I still think Justin Jeanty at least has a chance to make it, especially if they make the playoffs. So this 5th one is the one that we still have a question mark on. At this point, I do think if Indiana finishes with 1 or 2 losses and Curtis Rourke continues to put up the numbers that he makes, I think he's going to be the 5th guy that makes it at this point. Wouldn't be shocked if maybe Jackson Dart or Shedeur find their way there, but it just sucks for Shedeur because if Travis Hunter wasn't there, Shedeur's probably way higher up in the rankings than he should be. I think Shedeur's taking a lot of the spotlight away from him because, like I said, he's been playing pretty well. But yeah, looking at some of these college football playoff odds real quick, just talk about it. And remember, we're only talking about the people with the fringe. We're not talking about the minus 4,000 Oregons, the minus 3,500 Ohio States, the minus 2,000 Georgias. Boise, Indiana, 3 weeks ago, plus 260, now minus 250. Boise State, plus 200 a few weeks ago, now down to minus 250. You got Alabama minus 140, Tennessee minus 230, BYU plus 110, SMU plus 130, Ole Miss plus 160, Iowa State plus 210 might not be a bad one. LSU plus 220, Clemson plus 250, Colorado plus 250. I kind of like that. Army, and then if you're looking for the group of 5 team, it's right now. It's going to be Boise State, between Boise State, Tulane, and Army. You got minus 240, plus 700, plus 1,000. I'm actually going to sprinkle Army to make the playoffs a slight bit, just for the fact that, I mean, when I'm talking sprinkle, I'm talking, like, we're putting, like, 10 to win 100 sprinkle. Like, I'm not even, like, this is literally just a penny pinch, because they have to beat Notre Dame. If they don't beat Notre Dame, then they aren't even going to make the college football playoffs, so it won't matter. And then it'll basically come down to Tulane or Boise State, in my opinion, then. And I might have to sprinkle Tulane just to hedge on the off chance, because they are plus 700. We're going to do that. If you bet Boise State with me, we gave it out in Rowan's show. I'm going to hedge it with Tulane a little bit, because, like I said, we'll throw 20 on this one. Why not? So that should cover all my losses for that. Sweet. So yeah, my opinion, group of 5 team we're going to be looking at Boise State, Tulane, Army will be the group of 5 team that makes like that 12 seed spot potentially. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for support. Really do appreciate it. Long one today. We had a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. Man, we're going to have a fun one tomorrow. We got picks going on. College basketball's back. Can't wait to have my boy Rowan on soon and talk some of that college basketball action going on. We got the election tonight. Shout out to whoever wins. Wish luck for us all. No, honestly, it's going to be a fun week in sports. College football is entering the last few weeks of its season. We got like 3 to 4 weeks left now. The last push, man. We've talked about it. We're talking like minus 3,500 make the playoffs now. Minus 2,000. Like we're in our final push. We got conference championships coming up. It's going to be a fun one, man. Thank y'all for watching. Really do appreciate the support. And I'll see everyone back in this feed tomorrow. We got picks, NFL bets, college football playoff reaction, college bets. I'll see everyone in this feed tomorrow.